everyone, it's Sam and Cedric from CuisiN'Love. Today we're going to keep it local, but we're going down a little bit warmer to the Mediterranean.
Yes, in fact we're going to work with an eggplant today, stuffed eggplant. We're going to serve it with sardinia, because we love sardinia. It's going to be colorful, it's going to be flavorful, we love to do it, we love to eat it as well, and we're really excited. Let's go!
Woo!
So let's get into the subject. We'll start with the eggplants. So we're gonna score them, add some garlic, some olive oil, and we're gonna bake it for about 20 minutes. Temperature 350 Fahrenheit. Let's go. Next step, we're gonna do the garlic chips. So I'm gonna use a mandolin to get really thin slices. Right after slicing the garlic, we're gonna use some milk, about 200 milliliters, in a little pot, and we're gonna put the garlic straight in. It's gonna be super important because we wanna take out this bitterness that is actually present in the garlic, and we're gonna, as a result, get this whiteness as well, which is really nice. So you just put it on the stove, bring it to the boil, add a little bit of salt, one boiling, and you strain it right after. It's really important, fast cooking. If you don't have a fryer, play it safe. Rather have to start with a cold, not too cold, but like colder oil, and heat it up throughout 3 minutes, and see the coloration with your eyes. Because if you start with a really hot oil, you might burn them. Use canola oil. In your pot, you're gonna put just about 2 inches. No need to put too much because you're gonna waste this oil after. And we don't want too much oil anyway. So 2 inches. We don't want too much coloration, otherwise your garlic is gonna be super bitter. So make sure you have a strainer ready to go to strain your garlic as soon as we get the coloration that we actually want. Blonde color, let's strain it. Make sure right after frying the garlic, you season it. It's gonna fix the seasoning. Boom. Step number 3, we're gonna do the cherry tomato salad. delicious. I love them. They're good 12 months a year, the cherry tomatoes. So I really recommend you, if you're doing winter time or fall, use those beautiful cherry tomatoes. They're good, amazing. We're gonna use some basil. We're gonna use some onions, and as part of this recipe, I'll use a little bit of the oil of the Sardinia to season with some balsamic, salt and pepper. Very simple. I'm gonna mince the basil at the end, and we will be ready to go. Cutting those cherry tomatoes in half. If you wanna cut them in 3 pieces or 4 pieces or 6 pieces, that's up to you. We'll put some nice onions, simple onions, in the salad. I'll use the mandolin to get a really thin sliced onions. If it's too thick, your stomach is just gonna be upset. So mandolin is my recommendation. If you don't have a mandolin, you can use a knife, but make sure it's very thin. After onions, a little bit of basil, about 2 leaves, 3 leaves per person. If you have a really sharp knife, use this, watch your fingers. Now I'm gonna handing my seasoning for the cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna use some zaatar. I love zaatar. It's a mix of thyme, sesame seeds, and oregano. It's from Middle Eastern, Israeli, Lebanon. They use it on the daily, every single day. It's amazing. They use on different stuff, but I like using it with the tomatoes. So I'm just gonna add about like 2 pinches in the bowl. After zaatar, a little bit of Himalayan salt. I love this salt, it's really good for you. It's not refined, so it's just the natural one. I love this one. If you can buy it, just do it. A little bit of pepper, black pepper, classic. I'm gonna use a little bit of the, as I said previously, the oil from the Sardinia. Give a little fishy taste to the salad that you have in cane. It's good quality. And it's most of the time a virgin oil, so that's what we want. It's really good. A pinch, just a pinch or 2, I'd say 2 because I love it. 2 pinches of cumin, really good. And I have a little balsamico vinegar. So that one is a cream. That's what they call a balsamico cream. It's just balsamico that they reduce. You can find this type of vinegar in most supermarkets. So I recommend just a couple of drops in because it's pretty powerful. And it's thick as well, so we don't want to have like a creamy taste at the salad. That's not what we want. And after, that's it. It remains simple, but that's what we want. I will add like 3 tablespoons of olive oil, virgin olive oil. Get this nice cooking, nice coloration, light, not too much, just what we want. Once my eggplant are out of the oven, I wait about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna scrape off the inside of the eggplants, and simply we're gonna chop it and season it, put it back in the eggplants. Feel free to always taste what you do. For the seasoning, what I like to do is just keep the inside of the eggplants on my cutting board, and I'm gonna chop it like this. And I keep the garlic that we placed in the eggplants before baking it, because it's actually cooked as well and it's gonna give some beautiful Mediterranean flavors. On top of that, simply salt, my Himalayan salt, pepper, and I just mix it that way. Make sure you try it, it's really important. Your seasoning can have a beautiful dish, but if it tastes like unseasoned, underseasoned, it's a little disappointing. Delicious. Right before plating, I'm gonna cut my sardina in 3 pieces. All shaved Parmigiano. I'm just using my peeler. About 4 pieces. What I like to do is, with my knife, I just cut it that way. Nice little tip. And you can actually have a thin slice of Parmigiano. Now I have all my elements to start my finalization of the dish, the plating. Actually my favorite part. So I'm always making sure that I have everything ready to go and after I start plating. So let's go. To start the plating, I'm gonna use the inside that I chopped and seasoned of the eggplants right back into the original spot inside the skin, like this. So it's like a little eggplant salad. On top of that, it's time to add the tomato salad nicely. So what I do is I use this dish as an entree, sorry, and so I do think that 1 eggplant is for 2 people. So I'm just gonna plate 1 plate for you, and you can see how it looks like for 1 person, just to start your dinner or your lunch. Right after that, I can put my pieces of sardine, about like 3 pieces. I'm always making sure to have some volume. It gets high, it's actually good looking. I have some nice little capers I'm gonna add as well. I love capers, mainly with Mediterranean cuisine. They match perfectly with the tomatoes, the Parmigiano that we're gonna have, and the fish. After the capers, we'll add Parmigiano, nice and high. Three pieces is gonna be perfect. The garlic chips. It's gonna give a little kick to the dish. So I kept on the side the little leaves of basil on my basil bunch, just for the plating. If you want to impress, it looks really good and they're actually really tasty. Add this a little bit everywhere. There we go. Evenly spread. And to finish, I use this balsamic cream that I mentioned before. And I'm just gonna add a little drop on the side and a little bit on top as well. Be gentle, don't put too much. There you go. I have a very elegant, economic, flavorful entree to start your dinner and your lunch. Now it's ready to serve and is ready for tasting. So she's my favorite person to do tasting with.
Perfect timing.
So feel free to get a little bite. So you know what? I'm just gonna cut it for you and you're gonna let me know how you like it.
How romantic. It looks delicious. Very good. Creaminess from the eggplant, a little crunch from the chip. Good balsamic flavor.
You approve?
Nailed it.
Awesome. From our kitchen to Paris to yours, bon appetit.